reasonably well. Starts with state of California, starts with, falls to the CSU, moves to the campus, moves to the division, moves to a unit. Everybody has a different set of pieces. If it's not covered at a higher level, you have to have something that's defined at a lower level. What I can say is we've already, just in the last few days, had conversations at the CSU level, and I've got meetings in a week with all of my counterparts where you think this isn't going to be one of the primary topics of the conversation system. Why do you think it's already not one of those conversations? And the question or discussion yesterday was, are CSU policies, in fact, too inconsistent, too lengthy, too bureaucratic? Right? Yes, they are. Right? Are they inconsistent with Title V? Typically not. We would hope not, because Title V is state law. Okay? So, to your question, if something is not defined in a policy at one level, it has to be defined as a policy at some other level, and the CSU tries to avoid setting a single policy that covers all 23 campuses if they feel it's an issue that's best handled because not every campus is the same. But when they believe there's something that's overarching that all campuses across the entire state need to follow, then they set a CSU policy. If we've already started this conversation, I guarantee in a week and a half from now, we're going to spend a lot of time talking exactly about that as it relates to the policies in hand right now that have been governing what we've been doing so far. I don't know if that answers your question.
Good enough. Thank you.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
So I have more statement rather than just a question. I know the university can't speak on the judicial process and what charges may be filed, what kind of charges, and so forth. But there are things that you can do at the university level, and there has been a petition started, and currently, last I checked, there are 975 signatures, and we need 1,000. So, in that petition, one of the things that the university can do is expel those students. If they don't expel those students, the next thing the university can do is not allow them back into housing, to not allow them to get financial aid, and revoke their eco passes and any other benefits that you get from being a student. The only thing that they would be allowed to do is to pay their fees and attend classes and go home.
Sorry, you brought up alcohol, so you're saying that I have to report her every day that she's drinking. But if she's getting raped or if she's getting beat up, I don't have anything to say. Like, that's kind of... Yeah, go ahead.
So, for the concealment of violation, residents have a responsibility to take appropriate action, which includes but not limited to informing a UHS resident life staff member if they become of any policy violations. Failure to notify UHS staff of violations will result in judicial action. That is in your Bible. That's your book.
So I don't have to... So she's my roommate and she's getting raped. I don't have to say anything.
No, don't worry about it.
If you're drinking, I don't have to worry.
Unless you be smoking weed, that's illegal. Candles lie.
And you can't get financial aid.
Don't play the music too loud either.
They're gonna take my ego back.
They have overnight guests. Don't let me lie for paying rent.
I mean, he didn't really say anything.
True.
Is my answer yes, right?
The answer is that we expect people to report things that are in violation of university housing, and if we know that you were aware of something, then we will refer that to student conduct. Again, our policy is that we all live in a community, and we expect people to report things that are inappropriate that are going into the community. If you don't do that, it will be referred to student conduct, and how that is being handled with each individual will be
that I asked that.
What's that?
I could have sworn I asked that same question, and I got, well, you know, for the purpose. Not for the purpose, but just according to your book. This is what I don't understand. Like, why is it that we have to report so many other things, but when that one issue, which was actually, it could have been a life-threatening issue. The boy was claustrophobic. He could have sat there and passed out in that room. He could have passed out when that black light was around his neck. He could have sat there and passed out. That was a life issue. How dare you sit there and say that the other three or anybody else in that room who did not report anything is not going to, you just dusting your hands. So, the question again, you can say yes. Will there be anything happening to the others who are in the room who did not report this? Because there are more than just the 4 who were convicted in that room. And your RAs who did not come up to you.
Boom. That's what I was doing.
And your RAs. So it goes up into a chain of command. Now my only question is, where was that chain of command when he needed this assistance? Because apparently, according to your health and safety check, that was a policy violation. It wasn't a candle. It wasn't matches. No, it wasn't a gun. It wasn't weed. It wasn't a grinder. It wasn't some swishers. But it was a Confederate flag that meant something to us as a color, us as a people, us as a creed. That meant something to us. That sat there and violated that boy's comfort, which he pays over not 100, not 200, not 300, but the baby pays more than I can even imagine. To live here, to be protected, to feel like he's protected, and he got flags and shit hanging on his wall. He got flags, and he can't even sit there and walk into his own room and feel like he's comfortable enough to study. This stuff has been affecting not only just his mental, his academics. This has been affecting anything else. So you're telling me that because the other people did not report that, they're not going to get in trouble for it. No, everybody who was involved in this is accountable for it. Everybody from the roommates to the RAs to the RLC, all the way up to your line of command. That is everybody's responsibility. Everybody. Where am I going to
It's done. He got it.
I'm a challenge guy. Let certain genies out of bottles. Let certain genies out of bottles. Be clear that you pull for what smoke that comes out. Now, let's separate freedom of speech issues from witnessing crime issues. Okay? So we got to find a way to balance. You might not like the Confederate flag, but you got to find a way to balance somebody's freedom of speech, because somebody will be in here talking about your rap music tomorrow.
Right.
Wait, I'm just saying.
The common areas that were
I'm trying to say, all I'm trying to say is understand the balancing act, so that when we ask, let's look at crime.
That was a stretch.
The crime was putting their hands on him. The crime was the verbal abuse. The crime was putting him in the black lock. The crime was putting him in the closet.
Wow.
All I'm saying is we're talking about the other people.
Oh
Those
my.
are the things that if they witness,
That's how you
those
feel,
things are
though.
crime. Okay? You can't say, how come the guy who saw the Confederate flag, because even if he saw that in and of itself is not a crime unless you got a rule that says can't do that. I don't know the rule.
It's not, but it's a violation of the bylaws.
Well, I'm just saying, let's separate crime.
You can play devil's advocate and play
So let me go first. Right, but there's a rule saying witnesses breaches conduct. See, this goes back to the question. The implication of what you're saying, and it might be true, and I teach people sometimes, like,